What's going on, guys? Gomes back again on another video. Today we are going to do something a little bit different. We're staying in the MLB. We're just turning away from MLB The Show for a video and hopping into a tier list of the best MLB uniforms, specifically each 30 teams' home uniforms. Now, I'm sure you've seen everybody and their mother do these tier ranking lists, and I wanted to get in on the action, and I thought, what better way than to rank every single team's home uniform from best being the S tier, which is the elite of the elite, A, which is still pretty damn elite, and then, of course, all the way at the bottom is F, dumpster fire. Now, remember, these are all my personal opinions. You guys are entitled to your own opinions as well, and let me know down below in the comment section what I got wrong, what I got right, everything of that sort. I have all the teams sorted by their divisions, so we're just going to go right down the list, starting with the Baltimore Orioles. Now, the Orioles, in my opinion, they're kind of average. I mean, not on the field. They're a lot less than average, but their uniform, it's not great. It's not bad either. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I'm probably just going to list it in the D category. I don't know. I'm just not really a big fan. On to the Red Sox. This one is a classic, one of the few uniforms where they do not feature a name on the back. I really do like this uniform, and obviously it's had so much history. I'm going to put this in the B category. I think it's a good uniform, but not like the best of the best. You guys know, as a Rays fan, this pains me to do it, but the Yankees, they've got to be an S tier. There's a reason why they've had this same uniform with very little altercations for seemingly forever. There's a reason, the classic pinstripes, it's a time historic look. It's an S tier, plain and simple. That one I really do not think is debatable. I don't care if you're a Red Sox fan, whatever, it's an S tier uniform. Now, my Rays, personally, I'm not a huge fan of this uniform, but at the same time, I don't think it's bad. If you ask me, we should go back to our classic uniforms that I believe we only wear on Saturdays. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's probably just going to be an average uniform in the C category. The Toronto Blue Jays finally getting somebody good, Vlad Jr., even though he's hitting below 200, still yet to hit a home run. Finally, they got somebody pretty interesting to fill in that uniform ever since Donaldson left. This one isn't great. I like it, but at the same point, it's nothing too spectacular. I'm probably just going to throw it in the C category as well. C being average, and it is a very average uniform. The Chicago White Sox, they have the pinstripes once again. Personally, I'm just not really too big of a fan of this uniform. It seems bland, nothing really happening. It's probably a D category uniform for me. The Cleveland Indians, this one is an interesting one because we don't know exactly how much longer they could actually say the Indians on the front. Of course, they have that whole controversy around it. I don't think it's a great uniform. At the same point, I don't think it's a bad uniform. C category for me. The Detroit Tigers uniform is as bland as their baseball team is to watch. I think this is going to be the first F category. I know it's been a pretty classic look, but it's just boring. There's nothing exciting about it. Like I said, it's as boring as bland as their baseball team is to watch. I do like the Kansas City Royals uniform. They have that nice royal blue and that gold trim accent on it. I think it's a really nice look. In my opinion, that is going to be a B category uniform for me. The Minnesota Twins. If you guys know, I do live in Minnesota, so I'm very aware of their uniform situation. Recently, they added kind of a gold trim. I believe that was in the last 2-3 years. I'm not a huge fan of the look. I don't think it looks bad, but in my opinion, this uniform looks a lot better. This was more of their classic uniform. I just like more of a cream look. This one, not a huge fan, average. The Los Angeles Trouts, this uniform, once again, it's not great. At the same point, it's not bad. I really am kind of indifferent. It's going to fall in the C category. Like I said, you guys are going to notice a lot of uniforms I will have in the C category because I don't love them, I don't hate them, they fall in between. The Oakland A's have a green and yellow combination, which in your mind you'd think that's going to look ugly, but it really does look quite nice. In my opinion, this is a B tier uniform, maybe even an A tier. I would maybe have to look into that later, but it's a good, clean look. I always think the A's have a good set of uniforms. The Seattle Mariners started off hot. These uniforms, not too hot. Once again, I'm indifferent. I don't hate it, so it's not going to be a D. I think it's definitely on the lower end of the C category uniforms in my opinion, but it's average. Nothing more, nothing less. They say everything's bigger in Texas. Unfortunately, these uniforms, not so much. They're plain and simple, they're boring, it's just that blue and red trim. Something about it I just don't like. All it does is say Texas. It's really boring. It's a D. The Houston Astros, of course, changed their uniforms once they came over to the American League, and I think it was a good decision. Personally, I like these better than the ones they had in the late 2010s, early 2000s with the National League. These are a B category uniform for me. I just think that orange mixes well with that navy blue. It's a pretty solid uniform. I like it. Little off topic, but the Atlanta Braves in general have one of the best uniform sets in all of baseball. I really like their red uniforms. Those cream ones that they wear, whew, those are fire. This one is going to be the first A category. I think they just look really nice. They have a nice logo which complements it. Everything just swings with that uniform. A. Whew, yikes. This new Miami Marlins uniform. Fair to say, the uniform just looks empty. You know, like as empty as their seats are in all of their games because nobody goes to them. I'm really not a big fan of this. I wish they would go back to their classic uniforms, which they do wear ever so often. In my opinion, a lot of people might disagree, but this is an F tier uniform. I do not like it. Please listen. And it goes to the Rays too. Both the Florida teams. Go back to your old looks. They both look so much better. Go back. The Washington Nationals are pretty bare minimum. All they have is, of course, that Walgreens W on the side. I don't love it. It's not great. It's a C category. It just really throws you off because it looks like they're a Walgreens store employee, but then you realize it's, you know, Juan Soto. It's Max Scherzer. I don't know, C category. The New York Mets, just like the Yankees, go with the pinstripes once again. I don't think it works quite as well, but I still think it is a pretty solid uniform, that blue and orange. It's a pretty good look. I am a fan of it. It's gonna fall in the B category. We got a nice one right here. Two National League East uniforms falling in the A category. Bryce Harper, Andrew McCutchen, all of those guys, the new Phillies make this look so good. Really make it pop. I love the pinstripes, the red pinstripes with the blue contrast in the Phillies logo. I like it a lot. It is a very clean uniform. Once again, the Phillies have another sort of cream. They really just nail their uniforms. The whole NL East, besides the Marlins, are pretty damn good when it comes to their apparel. Back to back pinstripes, we got the Chicago Cubs. I am a fan of this one. Once again, it is pretty minimalistic. All they have is that Cubs C in the chest right there. It's not quite as good as the Phillies in my opinion. It's probably going to fall right alongside the Mets at that B category. They do the pinstripes well, and you guys will see a little bit later on. Not everybody does the pinstripes well. It's a pretty solid uniform, but nothing too spectacular. The Cincinnati Reds, they have a pretty... The Cincinnati Reds, not really a fan of their uniform. Their logo is just a C on the chest right there. It doesn't help that their logo is very uninteresting. And also that they really have nobody good to wear their uniform. Nobody exciting except for Yasiel Puig and Nick Senzel. Now he's up in the league. It's a D for me. Not a fan. The Milwaukee Brewers go for this Busch Beer style navy blue and gold accents. I don't love it. I don't hate it at the same time, of course. You know, I live towards Minnesota. I'm very familiar with that brand and everything. It's gonna fall in the C once again. It's not great, but at the same point, it's not horrible. It's very close to a D-low in my opinion. Pittsburgh Pirates work that black and yellow pretty well. Thank God they don't have like the black pants like they used to. I was not a fan of that, but I think this is a B tier uniform. I think black and yellow is a good combination and it looks and performs really well. Another time-old classic, the St. Louis Cardinals. There's really so much to love about this uniform and almost all of the Cardinals uniforms. They just do them really well. It's simple. You have that nice logo across the chest. They don't have to do too much. They don't have to do any other accents or markings on their uniform. Just plain and simple, straight up A. This one is the uniform. I just don't understand. I know they want that like snake skin whatever on the shoulders right there. I just don't think it's a good look. I think their uniforms before, like 2011 or so, they looked a lot better. I don't know why they went with these. Don't even get me started on the really dark gray putrid ones that they wear on away. I'm not a big fan of D-backs uniforms at all ever since they changed up their logo and accenting. It's an F. And it looks like we're gonna have back-to-back S because this Rockies, it's just, what? Shout out Draftneck Mark, I know he pointed out this in his uniform video. It's just so boring. It's pinstripes and their logo across the chest is gray. How can you get more uninteresting and boring than that? I mean, you have a team with guys like Nolan Arenado, Trevor Story, guys a lot of people want to watch, and they're wearing that uniform. Come on, do better, Colorado. I'm gonna skip over the Dodgers because I'm not entirely sure what I want to rate them yet. So the San Diego Padres, I don't love this. It's kind of boring. It's just one color, consistent navy blue. Well, it doesn't look bad. It also doesn't look great. It's gonna fall in the C category once in a while. We have a lot in the C's, but that's where it's gonna fall. The San Francisco Giants are a bit interesting because they don't have a straight up white home uniform. It's almost like a cream off-white color, which kind of works, kind of doesn't. I'm not a huge fan of this uniform, if I'm going to be completely honest. It's probably just going to get dumped in the C category as well. That's just the catch-all for ones that there's nothing ultimately bad about them that I don't like. It's just there's nothing good about them. It's just kind of plain. Nothing great, nothing to take away from it. It's just uniform. Actually, after further consideration, I think I'm gonna drop the Padres down to a D. It's just their word mark across the chest, straight navy blue. There's nothing interesting about it whatsoever. At least other teams like the Angels, it's just their words. The Mariners, just their words. At least it's in, you know, a bit of a different font, and there's something going on there. It literally just says Padres. I wanted to wait for the Dodgers because I wasn't entirely sure where I wanted to put them. I was debating between the S and the A. I really am a fan of this uniform. Once again, it's classic. This is a look that they've had for quite some time, even dating back to the Brooklyn Dodgers. It looked very similar. It's very clean. They don't have to do too much. All it is Dodgers with the line underneath. I like it a lot. It just represents LA so much. I think I'm going to put it up in the S tier. I still believe the Yankees are the best uniform, the best home uniform in baseball. But the Dodgers, they're right up there. They have a very clean and solid look. And like I said, it just screams LA baseball. I really am a fan of it. I think I like this. I think I like how everything worked out. Like I said, we have a lot of C category uniforms, but like I said, that's just because I didn't really know where to put them. We had 4 Fs. Like I said, these are just my opinions. Let me know down below in the comment section how you guys feel about every uniform. Did I get some wrong? Is there some uniforms better than I said? Or did I kind of, you know, overrate some of them? Let me know down below. If we could aim for maybe like 50 likes something, and if I see you guys are interested in these tier ranking lists, I would probably make another one. This was a lot of fun as a baseball fan to go ahead and do this list. So if you guys have any other ideas or would like me to do more, let me know, leave a like and show your support. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and there you guys, I'm out.
Love is love and hate is hate. To die is an awesome adventure and I can hardly wait. Earth is a prison, I need a great escape. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone. You know I'm in my zone. I took a bite of the glory.